working in a Hobonichi notebook just to finish up the last month of 2021, and I have filled a number of little notebooks through the year, and so the last month did not quite fit in my last notebook, so I'm just using this little thin notebook. It'll have some extra pages, which I'll probably just cut out and use elsewhere, but it's close to the right size. And so I'm just working through December in this, so I'm doing a little planning and playing today, so I invite you to join me. Gotten some really cute pictures of my grandkids, so I'm putting some of those in there. These I printed on my Polaroid Mint, which I'm not sure if they're making anymore. It seems like what I do find is like ridiculously expensive, so I don't know what's going on there, but I have enjoyed using it. I drew in these little teeth because I had a dentist appointment and I have a couple teeth that are broken. I have terrible teeth, so I know it's, not going to be a great appointment, so I drew those in there just to kind of indicate that. And as I often do, I kind of flip around because I find little bits here and there that I want to put on a different page, and so I just kind of work back and forth. This little holly sprig is from my Patreon collage sheets for December, so I stuck that in there. I also put a picture of my December journal and December daily journal and prompts, which I'm keeping separately from this because I wanted to do December dailies, and it has a specific prompt list, but I still wanted to finish out the year of my kind of memory keeping daily events journaling like this one. On the 2nd, I had a booth at a holiday market, and there was quite an elaborate screening process, so I put the little badge that we were given for that. I also put a image of my daughter that was with that Tune Me app that I've mentioned before. One of the things that this holiday market is famous for is the peanut brittle booth. So I had cut some pictures of peanut brittle out of a magazine because everyone goes crazy over the peanut brittle there. I'm also working back and forth on the 3rd. That image I stuck down there is some journal club buttons. I'm going to be hosting some journal club gatherings where people just come and work on their journals and maybe swap unused supplies and things like that, ideas. So I put the buttons had come in that day, so I put a picture of the buttons. After I got home from the holiday market, I did some journaling and did some prep work for Saturday's workshop. Since my husband wasn't home, I just kind of burrowed in and worked on those types of things. I'm using the little journal, and the stars are from my December Patreon sheets. I'm also taking every advantage to use some of the Christmas washi I have, since, I really can only use it this month, so I'm kind of making the most of that, and also trying to use some Christmas stickers out of some Christmas books that I have. Now I'm flipping to Saturday, when I had actually a journaling workshop, and we made our own journals and then prepared them for use with our prompts, and I am really excited to see how everyone's turns out by the end of the month, so I'm looking forward to that. These little scratch art cards were gifts from my granddaughters, and so I'm sticking those in there. All those things like that I can't throw away, but yet what do you do with them? I love having a place to keep those and make those part of the record of my life. So that is one thing I really enjoy about journal keeping. I have a place, I have a home for those things, and if there's something that's too big to fit in there, which sometimes kids' artwork is big, then I can at least take a picture of it and put the picture in there. And that, makes them feel important that they got in my journal, and also just helps me preserve those happy memories because they're so cute. On Monday, it turned cold, at least compared to what it has been lately. It's been very warm for December so far, and this day was actually cold, and so, let's pull out the sweaters and actually dress more like it really is December. And so that sweater sticker I stuck up there, I think it was from I believe Recollections Christmas sticker book. I'm using some of those comic book. Those of you that saw my December magazine harvest, I cut out some comic book images, and here are a couple of them because I had another dentist appointment on this day. And what I'm doing on these pages is something I kind of often do. I'm just kind of getting all those little random images that represent the day down. Here I'm marking where a photo will go later when I get it printed, and I'm just kind of, I guess, place-holding some different things with images, and then I go back and do my journaling in the leftover space. I finally got my sticker club for Patreon packs sent out today. I had the most that I've had yet, and from several different countries, and so that is just kind of fun to think about where those are going, and just hope that they like the stickers I included. And then I did journal a little bit about that dentist appointment, and wasn't necessarily good news, and so that's why I put that really dramatic face over there. But how fun, and I really like the comic books or make life so dramatic and so over the top that you kind of can't help but smile about whatever it is, even that dentist appointment that's not very fun. I'm one of those that kind of likes to have every little bit of space filled up on my pages, so I stick some little stickers in there that relate but are also just kind of fillers for visual effect. Flipping back to Sunday, and I had cut out of a magazine this image of a shower head, and I took just a super long shower. I hadn't felt very good that morning, and just took a really long shower and just kind of took things slow. My husband went to rescue our daughter who needed her car towed, so he was gone doing that most of the day, and so that's what that little car up there with the yellow tow strap is for. decided to go ahead and pull out my little pocket printer and get some photos printed. I have several to go on these pages that I'm working on out of paper, so I'm reloading it here, which is real easy to do. This is a very easy to use little device, and I love using it. It comes to around 50 cents a image, so I don't use it, you know, all the time, but it's handy when I'm not near a printer or on a trip, so that works perfectly. I'd gone to a family reunion and only got a couple pictures taken, but I put those in there. It'd been a long time since we'd had one, and it was really good to catch up with family. And there was some people there that I probably haven't seen for like 30 years, and so it was fun to do some catching up. My granddaughter got a new bike, and so I am printing out a picture of her with her new bike, which also was on this day, so I added that to the back of one of those scratch art cards that I'd gotten from my granddaughters. And then here is a couple other granddaughters came over and helped us put up our new little Christmas tree, which is teeny tiny. I wasn't sure at first, but it's kind of growing on me. I like it. And so they helped us put that up, so I put pictures there. I also printed out a picture from the workshop that I had on Saturday, and then I have another picture that I need to print out of I had taken a picture of the sticker packs that I sent out to my patrons. I love these little sticker sets that are from Papa Pio, and I have a few different ones. There's this one that has all these little girls. I use those a lot, and then another one that I have has cats, and yet another one has dogs. Those are all from Amazon and are pretty inexpensive. I want to say $5 or $6 for a set that has like several sheets, and they're just very handy little stickers. You know, have like normal everyday life situations like this girl with the headache, and so I find those really handy to use. Going ahead and filling in my journaling for this page, and then we had a kind of to celebrate getting the tree set up. We had some sparkling grape juice and some red velvet cake I'd gotten from the holiday market. For my granddaughters, you know, kind of as a thank you for setting up the tree. And so we took a little time before we went to bed, and they enjoyed that. To include drawings, I should do it more, but just some simple little drawing like this don't have to be particularly good to express or illustrate the event. So, you know, I'm always trying to include more of those, but honestly, when we get busy, it's just easy to stick stuff in, and I get a little lazy about that, I guess. I use Tombow markers to add some embellishments and border and some color in there, and then I'm using a water brush to kind of use that as a watercolor effect on both of these pages, and I just think that helps kind of tie everything in together and make it seem more cohesive. So I use this beautiful blue color on the left side and the yellow on the right. Now I'm flipping back to the third, which I hadn't really finished up very far, and going ahead and doing a little bit of journaling on that page and filling in the rest of the events. Here I'm cutting out one of Job's journals, free December date. They're supposed to look like those tear-off sheets, and I really like the looks of those. So even though I already have the 3rd on there up on my little angel date thing, I like to include these from Job's journal here and there, just kind of fill in the space nicely. I also put on one of my my elves. This one says bah humbug. It's probably the most I don't know, negative, I guess, of them, but it was just talking about us not wanting to put up our big tree and to get the smaller tree, and you know, very much limiting the Christmas decorations that we put up. You know, that's just a lot of work. Makes me feel old. But anyway, that's why I put that bah humbug elf in there. And I'm jumping back to the 1st and decided I had another picture I wanted to print out of the Patreon, the digital collage sheets that went out for my patrons on the 1st. And so I printed out a picture of those and stuck those in. I also cut out this little comic book character because this was my first, this was just a checkup day at the dentist. And so I used that to represent that and did a little bit of journaling about it. Now I'm just working my way back through, filling in some of those blank areas on my pages. I'd put these scissors here for my Patreon sheets, and I add to it some other little images from my Patreon sheets because that evening while we watched a Christmas movie, I cut out all the little goodies from my sheets so that they're ready for me to use. This image that I printed out on my regular printer but on transparent sticker paper of a new little grandbaby that was born December 6th, and so that he would show up, I put him on the white back side of some scrapbook paper and then used that as a tip-in because I didn't have the photo yet at the point I was working on that. So now I have the photo, so I'm tipping that in and then using one of my angel journaling blocks on the front side just to kind of commemorate his birth. I finished up the box of oatmeal that I eat and cut this out of the packaging, and you know, that's a very mundane thing, but yet in, you know, another 20 years it will be interesting, and maybe someday to my kids will be interesting to just look through and see what life was like in 2021. This border is from one of my Patreon sheets, and I just decided it would look nice running down the page, kind of ties in nice with the blue angel for the date, and so I just run it down here. We had takeout from Spangles that night, so I just cut that out of the Spangles bag. I did some filming, so I've got recently got some Etsy images to print out, and so that's what those are. And then I'm digging out some more of my December Patreon images that I cut out from my collage sheets, and am including those on the page. So I decided to use one of my elves on this page. I kind of like how that ties in with the yellow shoes on the other side. Just kind of pulls the two pages together a little bit. And I love my doodle heads. I don't know what it is about them. They're just so imperfect and a little messy, and I guess I just maybe identify with them a little bit haggard maybe, but yet just happy little beings. And so I love making the doodle heads, and I like using them too. So I used one of those in there. I have some sticker flakes I put in there that were from Amazon. You get a big batch of them, and again, doesn't seem like they were very expensive. I can't remember now, but considering how many you get. And they also are really, I find them really like pertaining to life, so easy to use. My printer was on the fritz. That's why I have a picture of a printer on there. On the next evening, again, I'm kind of working back and forth. We went to a band concert from one of our granddaughters, and so included, I cut some snippets out of the program, and included some holly from one of my Patreon sheets. I also kind of started, restarted, I should say, kind of an exercise routine, and so that's what the tennis shoes and treadmill were about. And jumping over to 11th now. So as you can see how I work, I just kind of jump around as something grabs me, or I find the perfect little something to include on a page. I just jump around. I also been finding these little blocks like you see to the left side, the sticker sheets that just have the blocks, and I've been finding those really useful too, and I've been using those a lot lately, as I do here, these little hexagons just to put some tiny little blurbs onto the page. You can see my sticky notes that I use to record, what happened that day, just to jog my memory. By the time I actually do the page, that I can remember what happened on that day. And I am so thankful that I usually get that done at least, and because it really helps me, because otherwise I'd go back and I would not remember probably. But I also love that the idea of going back later. I'm like rehashing the day, refreshing a memory of it, kind of looking at it again from slightly different perspective of looking back on it. And I really like that practice. It has helped me see things differently, even as the day's happening. It's affected how I take a look at the events of the day. So that's exactly why I wanted to do this, and it just has increased gratitude and just taking time to notice the little things throughout the day that are really what make up most of our life, is the little things. And so I have just kind of enjoyed relishing in those small things in life, and living them over again as I journal them. I cut this camera out of a magazine, and I love how on the other side it has this, it must be a dinosaur or something, image. So I stuck a little comic book couple on the back side, like, this dinosaur's about to eat them, and it just made me smile. And so it's just kind of this fun little surprise as you flip that over. Really has nothing to do with my day, but I just thought it was fun. Now I'm adding in another one of my little elves. This one is just a happy little guy, and I don't know, suited my mood of the day, I guess. I'm always looking for a better way to organize my little bits, and so something I'm currently trying is this little baseball card holder sheets that can go in a binder, and just have my days cut out and sorted into those, because they were just kind of an unorganized mess before that. So that's something new that I'm trying. I had written a bit of a verse on this Sunday, and so I'm using one of my Sarasa vintage pens to letter those in. Then I use a Tombow marker to fill in the spaces, and so the effect is it matches both that angel and my little doodle head elf. I had this little magazine cut out, which I thought illustrated the verse rather nicely, and so got that stuck in. My husband worked on fixing our refrigerator this day, so I had remembered this backing for a sticky sticker sheet, and so I pulled it out. I love the color and the vintageness of this refrigerator. Doesn't look anything like our refrigerator, but I thought it worked nice as a tip-in to kind of commemorate, to describe the hassle that it was of having our refrigerator all torn apart and our food in ice boxes, and it was very inconvenient, but he got it fixed successfully, and we are all back to going again. Consequently, we had just had sandwiches for lunch and easy food that day because our kitchen was kind of a disaster. Here I'm looking through those sticker flakes. I like this one of the girl with the list for Monday, because I just always feel like there's such a list of things that I need to do, and there's just never enough time to get everything done. I put this little running gal down here as because I exercised again. It's really hard for me to do it on the weekends for some reason, so I was proud of myself for going ahead and doing my walking even on a weekend day. I did some food prepping, so I did a little bit of journaling about that, made some coleslaw with all kinds of good stuff in it, so I commented on that. some more family pictures that I want to include, and so I'm cutting those out. These are also printed on matte transparent paper, so those can be a little bit of a challenge to figure out exactly how to deal with. I'm going back here to the 9th and adding some watercolor to the page, make it feel a little more finished. I still have a lot of blank areas here, and I don't know for sure if I have any more journaling I really want to do or not, maybe. But I'm trying to decide where to include these photos. So I have this postcard. I can't remember. I think it's from Redbubble. I could be wrong about that. But I'm using it as a tip-in taking advantage of the white backside to put this transparent photo of my granddaughter in. So the postcard says, "A good day to have a good day," and my granddaughter was so smiling that I thought that really fit. And then I'm putting, this was on the cover of some scrapbook paper packaging, and I'm just using it as a tip-in. I thought it was kind of pretty, so I'm doing the same thing with it, taking advantage of that white backside and using it as a tip-in. When I see things like that I think will be good tip-ins, I save them and I have a little box I stick them in, so then as I'm journaling, it's real easy to just reach and find something out of that box that'll work for what I need. So I'm adding some washi tape border on here, and then I'll be finding some stickers and things to add in to the bottom. They were out getting their Christmas tree, so I wanted to find something that kind of tied in with that. I'm using one of those little blocks I talked about earlier as kind of a little label, and then have that little Christmas tree sticker. So that's finished up and I'm ready to tip it in. But before I do, I have this stamp that said "Love this place" that I wanted to add to this photo that I have partly covered up underneath, because it's kind of under where that tip in goes. So I get my little bit tipped in and trimmed up, and it's all good to go. Now I'm working on the back side of that tip in and doing a little journaling there. I'm kind of looking for something that kind of fits the mood. It was a little bit of a rough week physically for various reasons. Had a toothache most of the week. So I'm using part of one of my doodle heads to stick in there and kind of fill in some space, and just add some little doodles with a white paint pen. Then I'm going on with, I used one of the Zig dot markers, dot pens, to add that pink border. I'm going and doing some erasing, adding in some watercolor, just kind of doing a little bit of embellish work here. I really like this color blue of this washi tape, and that matches that refrigerator too, and so I'm kind of trying to replicate it as a kind of a border around this page. And I just kind of flip back through my pages and see what else needs a little bit of doctoring up. I decided my little Bah Humbug elf to kind of bleed that blue out a little further into the page. So I do that. And pretty much I think I'm done for this session. I do decide to put this angel sticker on the front, and later I'll go back and label it with December of 2021. Thanks for watching. See you next time.